and welcome to my channel, Pine and Meadow. My name is Mary and I live in Indiana with my husband Nick and our two dogs, Albert and Edie. They're both Boston Terriers and I love them so much. They are legitimately my children. My dogs are my babies. So, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for coming by. I am a huge Disney fan. I have loved the movies since childhood. My favorite Disney movie is Mary Poppins, which started early on in my childhood. My grandparents, every time we would go to their house, they would put Mary Poppins on, and it has just stayed my favorite movie for 33 years. So obviously I also enjoy the cartoon movies. Pocahontas is one of my very favorites. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself in case you are new here. And yeah. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys my Disney cruise experience from 2014. And since I was not vlogging at the time that we went on this cruise, I do have a few videos and definitely pictures from the cruise. But for this little travel review thing, I'm going to use my handy scrapbook. Okay, so I made this book, and it's made to match the book that Ellie has in Disney Pixar's movie Up. I love that movie. I think it's just so stinking sweet. I can totally see Nick being Carl when he gets old, because he's just more inclined to being like grumpy. And I could see myself being Ellie because I'm more inclined to being optimistic. So let me just show you, because this stuff is so cute. Really has nothing to do with the cruise, but it's adorable. So this is a cute little ornament that Disney Store put out 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember, but it had, you can see at the top, it has like a little broken off part right here. That's where some balloons are supposed to go. So it's supposed to be like this. But I took the balloons off. The balloon size that was on here, the balloons were like huge compared to the house, and that really bothered me. Anyway, I got this cute Disney pin, because that's adorable. And then I got these guys, Carl and Ellie, little Vinylmations. They came in a set together. And on the back of her ear, it says Stuff I'm Going to Do, which is from her adventure book. So you can see here the adventure book logo. It's pretty close. I just chose to use all pink on mine. Also, you can see my printer started running out of ink when I was printing that globe. So that's a bummer. Okay. And then might as well show you this. There we go. This is our little Disney Cruise ornament. It is from the Dream. It doesn't have a date on it, I don't think, but I could write it on there. You can see the hook at the top here. I just took it off because I had this on display with a picture of us on our cruise. One thing I forgot to say is if you have something you want to have all of the characters sign while you're on your cruise, you can just take that thing to guest services and drop it off, and they will have it signed for you and return it to you in your stateroom before you leave. So we took this mat with us and then just put it back in the frame with a photo when we got home. And then I also got this little guy, Donald. This is the statue that's displayed in the lobby of the Disney Dream. Each cruise ship has a different character dressed up for like a cruising thing. There's an Ariel, there's a Minnie, and like a little, what is she wearing? A little flapper dress, I think, actually. So I made this adventure book. Let me preface this video with kind of my Disney fandom and Nick's sort of lack thereof. So he likes Disney movies and stuff, but he's nowhere near the crazy Disney fanatic that I am. So I have been to Disney World numerous times. I'm not really sure how many. I also did like the Walt Disney College program for a little while. I didn't finish the whole program. That's another story. And also I have been on 2 other cruises with Royal Caribbean. So with that being said, the Disney cruise just blew Royal Caribbean cruises out of the water. And maybe that's just because I'm such a Disney fan. Like, Disney cruises are so immersive. You are just swimming in Disney goodness. So, so with that, Nick he and I are just really opposites. Like, some of my favorite things are the fireworks at Disney, the dark rides, slow rides like Small World, stuff like that. And that is not Nick's thing at all. So, and he doesn't like character meet and greets. So we did this cruise a lot more toned down than a lot of people do. So like I think we met Captain Mickey, and that might have been it. Like, but I don't know. I wanted to make sure that Nick was having fun too, and not having to like stand in line. We're on vacation, so standing in line to meet a character just seems silly, especially if you're with somebody who really doesn't want to go meet this person. We did Disney like halfway, basically, I would say. Like Pirate Night, we did not go see the fireworks. And part of that is that we really like spending time together and being around the crowds and all the kids watching fireworks and families and like dance parties and stuff. They're just not really our thing. So, there's that. But also, we loved this cruise. It was amazing. It was so great. All right, so the cruise. We went on I think it's 5 days, 4 nights, 3 days, 4 nights from Port Canaveral, and our ship was the Disney Dream. And Nick gave me this trip like for Christmas/birthday in 2013. So it was Christmas of 2013, and then my birthday was in 2014. And we took this cruise in August, September of 2014. All right, so this was our first Disney cruise, Nick's first cruise ever, and he's never been to Disney World, any of that stuff. All right, so I'm just going to go through my book with you guys and try and make this not super long. When you book a Disney cruise, you can choose like port adventures to do before you go, so you don't have to do anything. They give you your tickets in your stateroom. They're just waiting for you, and then you just take them with you whenever you go to port. Disney also sends you like a little book. I'll put a picture of the spiral bound notebook that they sent us, and it had like our itinerary, all of our information in it that we would need for this cruise. And I'll show you this too. A sailing itinerary, that's one of the pages from our book, our sailing book that Disney sent us. August 31st, 2014 is when we flew to Orlando from Indiana. One thing I'll say, I don't really like the way that airlines do seating anymore. On the way down to Orlando, I didn't get to sit with Nick because you don't get to choose where you sit anymore, which is stupid, I think. So that's something to note. If you're not able to choose your seat before you get there super early so that you can be in or check in super early, like immediately. As soon as you're allowed to check in online, check in, because otherwise you will be stuck not getting to sit with your party. So that's annoying. All right, so Disney sends you these luggage tags to put on your suitcases that you're not your carry-on, your check-in suitcases. You put those on, and then once you get to the airport and you give them your luggage, you don't see your luggage again until you're in your stateroom. They will bring it to your stateroom. It makes its way down there with you, but you don't have to do anything with it. It's awesome. And we flew into Orlando's airport and then went to Port Canaveral, and we took the Magical Express, which you can see here. It's just Disney's like tour buses, basically, that you can schedule, and they just shuttle you down, and everything is Mickey, Disney. I love the theming in everything. It's wonderful. Okay, so yeah, so this was for Christmas 2013 / my birthday 2014. It was a 4-night Disney cruise, and we sailed out of Port Canaveral. And like I said, the plane ride was stressful because I didn't get to sit with Nick. And the whole point of this trip, this was like our first big trip together. We'd been to like St. Louis before and Mammoth Cave, but this was like a big trip. We were already living together and stuff. But you know, there's just something special about like your first big trip together. Okay, so when we got there to Port Canaveral, we had to do check-in, and they give you these Key to the World cards, which is basically your card for everything. You can charge things to your room with that. It lets you get on and off the boat, like, or ship. You do not want to lose this card. It's your everything card. And then we checked in. I'm pretty sure we were allowed to go to our room pretty much immediately. I think we did go to Cabanas and get some food up on deck 11 when we first arrived. And when you check in, they'll give you like a boarding number. And then when they call that number, everyone in that group can go be escorted onto the ship. And when you come onto the ship, they'll ask you your family name and then like announce you over the PA system as you're walking into the lobby. It was really cool. They just make you feel special. The whole entire trip, you're gonna feel pampered and special and like you are really on vacation, you know? Which obviously Disney does that pretty much everywhere, but it's just a little different from a Disney World trip. I feel like those are a little more chaotic just because you're walking so much. Like the ship is really quite large, but it's not anything in comparison to all the walking you do at Disney World, like Epcot and all those places. So, oh, but I will say that the first day checking in and getting into our room and just being on the ship initially was a little stressful because everyone is boarding at like the same time basically throughout that short like 5 hours or something. Everyone has to get on the ship at that time. And in the afternoon, just before you start sailing away, you have to do like a safety thing, which is really just not that much fun. I'm gonna go ahead and say it was just boring, and we were in like the theater with a lot of other people like sitting on stairs. Like it was just really crowded, lots of kids, and you're just sort of listening to people tell you how to put like on a life vest and stuff. And obviously they have to do that. I totally get it, but just know that that's a thing and it's not that fun. So be prepared for that. So we got there, we got on the ship, we went to Cabanas on deck 11, which is their buffet that you can pretty much eat any time of day, which is so fun. And then we just sort of explored the ship a little bit before dinner. In our dinner, we had the early dinner. They'll list it on your Key to the World. We had the early dinner, which was 5:45. This was our first night. We tried to play shuffleboard And it's so beautiful. Like just sailing out to sea. Look how young and skinny. It's so cute. Oh, this was our first dinner we had. Oh, there's our room again. This is the dessert from our first dinner. And we met Captain Mickey. Nick actually went and met him with me. I was so impressed. It was very fun. So our first night, we found out that we had to sit at a table with 2 other couples. So it was 6 people total in our little table group thing. And while people are nice, these people were fine people. We just didn't really want to sit with other people. So in the future, if we went on another cruise, I would request not to sit with anyone, just to have our own private table, because that's kind of why we're there. Okay, so our first night we had dinner at Royal Palace. Let's see, the portions were perfect. Oh yeah, I feel like they were kind of like on the smaller side, but that was totally fine because we had eaten at Cabanas earlier. And the dessert was amazing, which I showed you those little pictures. After dinner, we explored the ship. We went up on deck, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I showed you those pictures. It was just like a dream to be on this ship with like your favorite person, just enjoying being on the ocean. It's so magical, you know? And the ocean was so blue. I have that note on here. I forgot about that, but it's just so blue. It's beautiful. And then I showed you we played some shuffleboard, or attempted to. The next morning we had to get up and get off the ship for our adventure, port adventure, which was Atlantis, the resort. We stopped at Nassau, and that's where Atlantis is. So these are our tickets, which were in an envelope waiting for us. This little sticker, we had a Jasmine sticker. Nick's face is just being silly. But they will give you a sticker and tell you what group you're going to be in for disembarking to go on your port adventure. This place was just amazing. Like, look at all these. It was beautiful. It was so awesome. We did some swimming. I have a video I'll put in of this time frame. We were just like floating around in the pool, and it was just so fun.
He's walking around. So going on.
And then we went down to the ocean. They have like a walk into the ocean area that's like, I think there's some nets back here, so you don't have to worry about like big fish coming right next to you or anything, which is something I worry about because I am not an ocean creature, so I highly respect the creatures that live in the ocean. He's rinsing off my shoes. Thank you, babe. You agree to that? Yeah. Alright. You got my sandal. Very nice. Oh. No, catch it. So there's that. Atlantis has a lot of like water rides, and I'm just not that big on those. But Nick did get to ride a couple of those and said that they were really fun. Also, the lines are kind of long. Like, you're only here for a few hours, like 5 or 6 hours. This resort was amazing though. So after we did just like some beach and pool stuff, we took like a little walking tour of the hotel resort. Like, everything is just amazing. They have huge aquariums.
They found alongside the dinosaurs. They have firefox spider and they have blue bloods now being used for research for cancer.
Fountains. This weird thing. There's a catfish, like in the thing. It was very dark in there, obviously, but let's see. Nick was playing a game called BioShock during this time, so we found that and it looked just like BioShock. And then there's us. We're so cute and young and skinny. I'll tell you, I got a spray tan before we went because I am just pasty white all the time. So this is the casino. They have this giant chair you can like take pictures with and stuff. The casino. I feel like there was smoking in there. I was not a big fan. But their architecture is just amazing. Look at this ceiling. Amazing. With all these columns, like the whole place was just fantastic. What is this one? Oh, that's like a fountain inside. And then this is the view from the ship, I think. There's a cool, like, you drive through Nassau to get over here to the resort. Lots of cool things you just don't see in Indiana. You may have seen this picture of me holding a Starbucks. That's like a thing I was doing for a long time. Anytime I went on a vacation, I had to get a Starbucks from that place and take a picture with it. It's just fun. Anyway, so that was super cool. They had just a huge garden, aquariums all over the place. So beautiful. I highly recommend going to Atlantis, even if you don't like water rides and stuff. It's just beautiful. You could easily just swim in the pool. The pool was so big, like it didn't even feel crowded. I never really felt crowded, except for the lines to ride the water rides. Woo, say that. All right, and then we were exhausted eventually, and decided to head back to the ship, which was awesome. They parked just like right here, so we took the opportunity to take a photo. Cute. And then that evening, we had reservations at Palo. And they send you this envelope to your stateroom. They just stick it out like outside of your stateroom. And then you get your little reservation card to let you know when to go. I think that's a postcard. As you can see, it's kind of like dark and moody in there. It's really nice. Check out all of this food. It's crazy. This is Nick's chicken thing and then all of our dessert. Holy cow. I think I got a little sun that day, you can see. So, funny story. We're really big dessert eaters. Nick especially, he can put away some dessert like nobody's business. And so we went to Palo, and our waiter, his name was Camille from Poland. When they have their little name tags, it says where they're from underneath. So he was from Poland, just the sweetest guy. Made lots of good suggestions. I think I had the gnocchi. I can't remember if I loved it or not. It's kind of hit or miss with gnocchi, I feel like. But we had appetizers, caprese salad, wine, oh, so many things. And when you do these dinner reservations, you can basically order as many entrees as you want. You can order as many appetizers as you want. It's all included in the price of the meal. And for Paolo, we are 99% sure that it was $25 per person when we signed up for this. And since then, it has gone up significantly. I'll look it up and put it on the screen below. But in any case, so we took full advantage of the order as much as you want thing. And we ordered 5 desserts. We got 2 chocolate souffles, 2 amaretto cannolis, and a tiramisu. And we ate all of it. And our sweet server was first of all just horrified that we were ordering so many desserts after having just eaten a huge meal. And then I'm sure he was just completely disgusted that we actually ate almost all of the dessert. But you know, you're on vacation. And we had been working out super hard. We were in the best shape that we've ever been in and are currently not in now for this cruise because we were just super motivated. And then I can't remember if we did anything the rest of the evening. I think we were just so full that we went back to our room and went to sleep. Plus we were tired because of the day at the beach. We did do some shopping that day. Their shops are just so fun to walk through. They're a little more crowded because they're smaller and people look. Speaking of shopping, have I shown you my shirt? This is my it's Disney Day embroidered sweatshirt. And you can get it in this navy color or in a maroon color. And in lots of different sizes. And it's in my Etsy shop, which I will link below. Shameless plug. Anyway. Alright, so next day, day 3 of our cruise, was a port day at Castaway Cay. Everyone loves Castaway Cay. Like all the videos that I watched, Castaway Cay is like the highlight of the trip. And it was definitely beautiful. You get this whole island basically to yourself. Just your ship is there and then the people who are maintaining the island and preparing the food for you and stuff. So it's just really, really beautiful. We planned, I think, 3 different things for this for this stop. The first thing, bright and early in the morning, was our jet ski tour, water jet tour, whatever you call these things. Here, I'll show you. Whatever these are. We had a tour. Look how cute Nick is. See what good shape we were in? Golly. Anyway, this is a postcard too. I didn't actually take this picture. So we had this tour and it basically ruined my day. I had never been on one of those jet ski things. First of all, I think Nick may have. He was really excited about it, and I was excited about it because I'd never done it before, and I didn't think it would be this terrifying and traumatizing. So you get on this thing. Nick was driving because I didn't want to drive. And they want you to just go as fast as you can. And they tell you to like stay in the wake so that it's less bumpy. So you're just basically like caravanning out into the ocean to get to this sandbar. And it was just so uncomfortable. I hated it. Nick hated it too because he was afraid I was going to fly off the back. We felt like we were going to fall off of these things into the ocean or get lost because the rest of the party was going so quickly and we were just so uncomfortable. It was awful. Oh, I was just like holding on for dear life, trying not to fall off, like holding on to Nick while he's driving this thing, trying to keep up with these people who are like a mile away in the ocean. I'm not that big of a fan of being out in the ocean anyway, because that is not my turf, you know? So I have a great respect for the ocean because I would not survive. And this whole thing was just, oh, it was just awful. And by the time we got back to shore, I was a mess. I felt so bad. Like this was our big trip, and I hate like crying because it stresses Nick out. I cry fairly often. I'm a pretty big crier, but I was trying so hard to hold back crying at the end of this tour, but I was just in such a traumatized state. It sounds really silly now, but oh man, I was not in a good way after that trip. So that basically set the tone for the rest of the day. I spent the rest of the time on Castaway Cay trying not to cry, which doesn't work. You need to just cry, get it over with, and then you can move on with your day. But like, I didn't want to be the grown-up crying because she had such a bad time on this trip. It was just awful. So we tried to salvage the trip. I kept trying not to cry, and we just spent the whole day like walking around awkwardly because I was in such a bad mood, I guess. Like, I don't know. We tried playing, they have like a little basketball section, like where you can shoot hoops into one of those game things, you know? We did that. We had some food, not a ton of food, but they had lots of food available. I think we just had fruit and maybe some ice cream and stuff. Oh man, I need a do-over of this day because it was just not ideal. We were going to rent bicycles. I think we had a reservation for that, and we didn't do that because I'm not sure why we didn't do that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even think we realized that there was a private adult beach because the regular beach had a lot of kids and stuff on it. We just did not do Castaway Cay correctly. We didn't do it right, and I need a do-over for real. And then we also had reservations to do like a parasailing adventure, and I was just like, I can't. I just can't. I don't have any stamina left in my body. I used it all trying not to die on the water jets. It was a disaster. That day was a disaster, and I felt so bad. Anyway, so we went back to the ship after a really just not fun day, which is so sad to think back on that. So moving on, it was pirate night that night. We kind of got ourselves together. I think Nick went to the gym to blow off some just frustration from the ruined day. It was really ruined. There was no salvaging this day. But that's okay. We went to dinner at Animator's Palette, and it was pirate night. I had like a little outfit. It wasn't super piratey, just like a polka dot pencil skirt and a black top with a jean denim jacket. Animator's Palette was okay. We saw that we were going to have to sit with those people again. We hadn't the night before because we were at Palo. We just had our own table. But we were going to have to sit with the strangers again. And when we got to where we were eating, we were like, can we just have our own table? So they accommodated us, but that meant that we had to sit next to a really bratty little girl. Like, she was just, I don't know if she was exhausted and just acting out, but she was a mess. And her parents, I don't feel like were even doing anything. I think they were probably tired from the day too. I don't know, but I actually have that written in my thing because it was such a annoying thing to happen. So there's that statue I was showing you, Donald. Cute stickers. That we went back to our room and we had a little monkey. Our room host was named Yasa, and he was wonderful. So this is us out on deck. We got like a little glowing drink thing. And that is that. that was not a fun day. It wound up being fine, but the whole day was just really stressful. Okay, so the next day was a day at sea, September 3rd, a Wednesday, and I have the little navigator information. The weather was great. We went up on deck 11, I think, and got some food from Cabanas. Oh no, we had breakfast at Enchanted Garden. It was just basic, you know, Mickey waffles, scrambled eggs, that sort of thing. And then we had tickets to go to Goofy's, like, video game area or something. It was like a sport video game area. Not that fun. I think Nick tried the baseball and the soccer, and we were just kind of over it. And then we, like, explored the ship a little bit. It was so beautiful. The weather was perfect, as you can see. Then we went up to deck 11 to Cabanas. So fun. Everything is like Finding Nemo themed. They had these mosaic walls that are just phenomenal. Those are all tiny tiles making up the whole wall. They have this little like meet and greet spot where you can take a picture with Nigel the pelican. And then they have these seagulls everywhere. So cool. That's the buffet area. And then our food, we got a lot of desserts again. And some lunch food. This tart was amazing. That was the best dessert. This day was a spa day. So we got like manicures and we got a hot stone massage. We had originally signed up for a Swedish massage, but we changed it and it was such a good choice. And then this evening we had dinner reservations at Remy, which is the more expensive, fancy French American restaurant. So we got this really cool seat. It was the honeymoon suite, and these windows were just all the way around, and you could see the whole ocean. It was so beautiful. At one point it started raining, so you had like the sunset and these little like droplets of rain going down all the windows. It was just beautiful. Dress code for this restaurant is fancy, so girls have to dress up. Guys have to have like a suit coat. And this was our invitation reminder for our dinner. One cool thing about this trip, or this restaurant, is that it is like Ratatouille everything. I love that movie. It's so sweet. This is the seats. You can see back here. That's a close-up of the design on the seats. It has a little Remy smelling the wafting smells of cooking. They have the same thing on the chair backs. It's just everywhere. There's also a Remy up in one of the lights, like this. There's a big chandelier kind of like this at the beginning of the restaurant, like when you first walk in. And Remy is just sitting up there. So they brought us each a drink. I got an alcoholic drink. Nick doesn't drink, so he got this fruity drink. It was so good. I tried it too. And this is called the Linguini. This is called the Colette. They were both delicious. We had so many courses of this meal. There were so many courses. Holy cow. So we started off with like a tomato thing. It was like a little tomato on a silver spoon with tomato water. The server tells you what you're getting, and then tells you how to eat it. So he was like, the chef recommends that you take a bite of the tomato and then take a sip of the tomato water. Like, he'll tell you exactly what to do. It's so fancy. And if you're not fancy, it's totally fine. He'll tell you what to do. This was the ratatouille, and it was delicious. It's not a typical looking ratatouille, obviously. Nick got the Kobe beef, which he said was amazing. These are like little spinach souffle things and like baby vegetables and stuff. I had, let me see. Okay, so our server's name was Andre, and he asked if we had any dietary restrictions, and I'm vegetarian, so I told him I'm vegetarian. So he came back with like a personalized menu that was all vegetarian. The chef recommends these things, that sort of thing. They say that all the time. So cute. So Andre like told us his favorite things. He explained everything on the menu, and then suggested, like, make suggestions for what we might enjoy ordering, which was very helpful. And then he explained that he had like a course picked out for us, and then told us what each person was going to get, and you could switch it up if you didn't like something that he chose for you. But I think Nick just went with everything that he chose. This restaurant is curated by a top French chef and a top American chef. They're both like from 3 and 4 star restaurants, that sort of thing. Andre explained all of that when we sat down. It was so cool. And then, so he picked things from the French and the American menus for us to try this evening. And it was so much food. Holy cow. So our first dish was a breaded and fried cherry tomato presented on a little silver spoon. And that's the thing, I think, that we were supposed to take the tomato dish and then a sip of the tomato water. And then after that, they served the ratatouille, which was so, so good. And then there was a salad for me, and Nick had crab cakes and a cucumber jelly. There's a little note on here too that says, very rare black garlic is what that is right there. This place was just so fancy. They have all these fancy things. The Kobe beef, Andre told us, was basically like happy cows because they're so well taken care of and pampered before they go off to become dinner. So I was happy about that. I like animals that you're eating to be treated well. Okay, so after that salad and crab cake course, Nick had a lobster cake with a bread thing. I'm not sure what that was. And then it started sun showering. Oh, like I told you, it was raining. It was so beautiful and romantic. And then after that, our entrees came out. I had some baby vegetables, potato cubes, and spinach souffle. Nick had the Kobe beef, or happy cows, as Andre called it, because the most pampered cows you can find. I had a glass of Louis Vuitton champagne on ice, and we had no idea how much this glass of wine was going to cost. We were a little bit nervous through the whole dinner that it was going to be like a $30 glass of wine or something. But it turned out to only be $14, which isn't terrible. And then they brought this cheese trolley around and broke off a little piece of each one. He told us what they were and then stuck it on this plate for us. And they also gave us like a chunk of comb honey, which is my favorite. That cheese tray was just amazing. And they brought that out after having eaten all of the things before that and our entrees. And then they brought out dessert. So we each got to order a dessert. Nick ordered a lemon mousse, which I ended up liking that better than what I ordered, and I think we kind of switched. And then I ordered a chocolate, like, I think it's a mousse, kind of like in a, here, I'll just show you. I ordered this chocolate thing, and Nick ordered this lemon thing, which was so good. So we ate those, and then they brought out all of these things. They're like little candies and raisin bread and just treats upon treats upon treats. So many things. And then to top off the night, they give you a rose, which was so cute and sweet. And our server said at the end of the night, because I had short sleeves on, so you could see my flower tattoo. This tattoo, which looked a lot better 3 years ago. But he said, let me congratulate you on your tattoo. which is so cute. He said that a lot of the people on the cruises or just work for Disney in general have tattoos, but obviously they're not allowed to show them because that's just the dress code. So that was really, really cute. He gave me a rose, which was so sweet, and then complimented me on my tattoo, and we just sort of chatted with him for a while. He was just really, really great. Everyone has been so great on this cruise. It's amazing. Disney does things so well. And then we got back to our room and then had this little card waiting for us in our room, which just said, "Thank you so much for coming. I hope everything was great." It was just so sweet. Like, they just make you feel so well taken care of. It's awesome. Highly recommend going to Remy. And that one was, when we went, it cost $50 per person. And now I've looked it up and it's $150 per person. Okay, so then we were really tired after all that food, so full and uncomfortable, but it was so delicious we had to eat everything. So then we spent the rest of the night just like walking around the ship because we had to get off the next day. So they had like a see you real soon party going on with all the princesses doing one last photo op downstairs in the lobby. This was my favorite set of stairs. I love this picture of young Walt. So we walked around, we went up to the front of the ship. We were just barely moving in the water because we were so close to Port Canaveral. But it was still so breezy and it was so dark. All you could see was the moon and the stars. And the moon like lit up a part of the ocean and a part of the sky, and the rest of it was just black. It was very, very cool. And on one of the decks is the photo area where you can buy pictures that you've had taken during your trip, sort of like the photo pass thing at Disney World. So I went and checked out all the pictures and scrolled through them and decided that I wanted to buy 2 of them. The line was super long at that time because people who were at the See You Real Soon show decided to come up there too. So the next morning, got up super early. I went to it's called Shutters. I went to Shutters at like 6:45. We had to be off the ship shortly after that, so I just went there real quick, and it didn't take any time at all to get the photos that I wanted. And then we decided the night before actually, that upon looking at our return flight, it wasn't until like 3:45, and we had to get off the ship by like 9 a.m. So we went to the concierge and asked if we could switch to a magical express that takes you to Disney World instead of the airport directly. So we switched our shuttle, and I decided to buy us tickets to Magic Kingdom just for the day because Nick had never been. And if you're that close, like you're in Orlando, you're doing Disney stuff, why would you not just stop at Disney World? So I did. So yeah, we went and changed our shuttle to Magic Kingdom, and they took us to the Polynesian Resort, and I just went to that concierge and bought a day pass for both me and Nick. And so this was his first trip to Magic Kingdom. I'll say he was a little underwhelmed, but it's just because he is not a Disney person. Like, it gave me life. I felt just so happy there. It's just the best place ever. Okay, so here's what we did. We went to Magic Kingdom. There was basically no one there because we got there so early. We went over to Liberty Tree Tavern, I think it's called. No, Sleepy Hollow. And we got waffles. We rode It's a Small World. We took our obligatory picture in front of the castle. And as we were walking behind the castle in Fantasyland, Drizella and Anastasia were out there. And here, I'll show you Nick's outfit that he's wearing. he has the same colors as Drizella, I believe, with the green and the blue. So she saw him walking through the park and started yelling at him from across the walkway. They were taking pictures with some other people, and Nick didn't want to wait in line to meet them, but she did scream out something about how their outfits match, and like, I don't know, it was just one of those fun Disney moments. And so we went to ride Haunted Mansion, which is my favorite ride. Nick was underwhelmed again, and then we rode Splash Mountain later. We saw the Tangled area. All of this stuff was new when I went because I hadn't been there since 2009. We went to Tomorrowland. We rode Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. There's Tomorrowland. That's us on Splash Mountain. Nick really liked that ride. I was happy because that's my other favorite ride. And then I just had Nick be Gaston for a second. We didn't actually go in and eat anything. And then I got a hat with our names on it. Because why not? So this was our itinerary for what we did that day. Sleepy Hollow, that's it, yeah. Did those, and then, oh, we rode Little Mermaid. Yeah. And then our flight got delayed a little bit, but we got on the Magical Express we got a taxi actually to take us to the airport after that. While we were waiting for the taxi though, we went and got some treats from the Emporium, and then went back to the Polynesian to wait for our taxi since our luggage was there. We dropped it off. And then we flew home. And that is that. That is our trip. I would love to go on another trip. I've debated doing like a Marvel day at sea because we're both such big Marvel fans. But Nick said that he wouldn't be interested in doing like character meets or anything like that, so it seems kind of silly to spend the money for a longer cruise. Plus we don't really want to leave the dogs that long, so. Anyway, that is the cruise in a nutshell. A very long nutshell. That is my adventure book, our Disney cruise, all that good stuff. And our very small haul. I also got a shirt, which you may have seen. I was wearing it in this at Disney World. This was the other thing that I bought. It's super comfy. It had like a big open air back. It's like to wear over like a bathing suit or something. So we got that shirt, we got these guys, and so many memories. Anyway, I hope this was interesting or helpful. If you're not adventurous, I'd highly recommend just doing more relaxing things on your Castaway Cay day. This is also sort of proof that if you have a husband or a significant other who's not really into Disney, you don't feel like you can't go on a Disney cruise, because it's just, there's so many other things that are not like specifically Disney whatever. Like, you don't have to go to the fireworks, you can still have fun. Obviously the shopping is all Disney, but I don't know, it's just wonderful. You can go on a Disney cruise without kids. We don't have kids. We went just as adults and it was lovely. Yeah, it's just wonderful. I highly recommend going on a Disney cruise. If you have any questions, please do comment below, and I'll go through and answer whatever I can. I'm hoping we can take another cruise sometime. Maybe next year or the year after that. But yeah. Thank you so much for sitting through this whole thing. I hope it wasn't too boring. I hope it was interesting. If you're interested in maybe knowing how to make one of these, let me know, and I'll maybe make a tutorial on how I created this book. And yeah, that is it. We made it through. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. That would be awesome. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. which seems so far away, but you know what? It happens all the time. So thank you again. All right. See you real soon.